Hi, we're super pleased to have you join us on another special edition of Enterprise Weekend right here on Enterprise Television. I am Henry Igulike.
And I'm Choma Okoya.
All right, in a bit, we'll go into our newspaper headlines to see all that we have for you this morning. And right after that will be our main conversation also for today. So while we get everything all sorted out for you, please, we would enjoin you to please belong to our tribe, join our community, and have a say in what we say. You can do that by logging on to our website at enterprisetvnews.com and also like, comment, and follow us on all our social media platforms at Enterprise TV 7. With us today in the studios to do justice to all that we have for you today. From my far left is Barrister Vance Ofedi, a barrister, law and a public affairs analyst, and after him would be Emeka Madu Nago, a journalist and a public affairs analyst, and we also have Atiku'S Taiwo, Executive Director, Africa Bridge Initiative. Good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning.
And welcome.
Hello. Happy weekend.
Yeah, thank you so very much and for giving us your time. So quickly, let's move on to our newspaper headlines today, and we're kicking off with the Force Daily. What do we have, Chuma?
Yeah, we're starting with the Saturday Telegraph, and the big story here: show solidarity, join protest. Atiku tells Nigerians. We have about 4 riders to that particular story. The first rider: take early warning signals of danger seriously. Baptist Convention tell Tinubu. Moving on from Obi, I wasn't part of protest. We didn't lead action in FCT, coming from King Gibe. 326 suspects arrested in Kano as operatives nab 81 in Sokoto. Lastly, Kano suffered worst destruction in Nigeria, coming from Emir Sanusi. Details are on page 2 and 3.
All right, on the top strip of the same newspaper, we have the Nigerians to pay more for calls as NCC approves a new tariff.
Yeah, moving on. Troops killed 572 terrorists, arrested 790 in July, coming from the DHQ.
And also still on the top strip of Forex, CBN reintroduces a retail Dutch auction system. And that's coming from Cardoso. So let's quickly just get into the main story. Today, show solidarity, join protest, Atiku tells Nigerians. Coincidentally, on the 4th day of the protest, we had the son of the Vice President, Atiku Abubakar, come be part of the protest that day. Atiku'S Taiwo, do you think the former vice president is a walk in the talk?
Well, Nigeria is a very fantastic economy as a nation. Having to walk around more than 200 million people. Also having more than 500 ethnic groups and languages. So by default setting, as you say in ICT, it's already a conflict ground as a nation. Whether there's economic challenge or not, by default there will be conflicts. So, but it doesn't necessarily have to lead to a chaos or a protest. But that's another conversation entirely. For this particular protest, having somebody like Alhaji Atiku and fortunately and unfortunately for his son also be part of the protest, for me, that's not the definition of walking the talk.
Really?
Don't walk the talk that way. As at the last 10 years, where was the son? As at the last 20 years, where was the son of Atiku? When we talk about protests in this nation, we know those who understand the meaning of protest and why is the evidence and where are the evidence of protest. All right. Don't forget, protest is different from politics. But when you are a politician and you are looking for the sympathy of the people, one way or the other, it tends to remove your big regalia and tends to put on the t-shirts of a protester so that you can get out the public sympathy. So beyond that, it's not the definition of walking the talk. That's a mere political another political game in the future towards 2027 election. And those who understand how to read the game also understand that when we talk about protesters, we're talking about people like Ebun Olu Adegboruwa, who as one of the lead protesters in this nation recently. So people like that, if someone like Femi Falana is on the street and his boy Fals is also on the street, I can still listen to those kind of speculation and incitement within the system. But someone like Atiku'S, Well, for me, that's another game. But for those who can fall for such a game, is the gods might not need to be blame the gods for now.
Oh, all right. Yes.
Over to you, Emeka Magnabo. Now, are you saying that Atiku is now involving his family in the political game? Or should we say from this angle, assuming it was Atiku that was in power today, will his son come out to protest and speak against the women's fight?
Thank you very much. Well, in the history of popular struggles, revolutionary figures have been thrown up. Indira Gandhi, Chukwuemeka Odumegwu Ojukwu was a small boy. When he rode a car, he was at King's College. When he rode a car, his father didn't like it. Eventually, he joined the army. That infuriated the father. And then you saw, the trajectory. Nancy Pelosi was Speaker of the U.S. House of Representatives. Her father groomed her. Condoleezza Rice, her father groomed her. Go to India, go to different parts of the world. You see political figures who, along the line, among their children, they had one or two. Look at Ganifa Emi, look at his son, Mohammed, who unfortunately, passed on. But you saw that revolutionary streak in him, on and on like that. There are different, because of time, there are different figures. So the issue is that I'm happy that somebody like Atiku has produced a revolutionary, one of his children, over 30 children, as a revolutionary. Because it now places a burden on the elite. That look, when you amass wealth, amass wealth for your children and all of those things, behind those closed doors that we don't see, are not privy to what is going on behind those closed doors, you have participants who are watching and who are not in sync and say, hey, my father may be like this, but I'm not like that. I remember the son of, what's his name? Is it Tunde or something? Eleganza, Razak Okoya. One time they interviewed him, he said, Ada, why? Your father has so much money. Why are you an entrepreneur running up and down? He said, well, my father is my father. I am, me. And I cannot sit and just be depending on my father's money. I have to work for my own livelihood. You understand? So, now, when Atiku was vice president, there were protests now. Adams Oshomole was NLC president. He led protests. There was even one where Oshomole was dragged on the tarmac of Nnamdi Azikiwe Airport, in Abuja, by the State Security Service agents. So, over the course of time, across the world, across several epochs, there have been revolutionary figures. In fact, there have even been people who surprisingly produced the opposite. Look at J.F. Kennedy. Go and read his biography. I can bring you a copy of his biography. J.F. Kennedy was the opposite of his father. His father was a businessman and what you call a wheeler dealer in American politics. Anything they wanted, like one political figure in Nigeria that's quoted to have said, what money cannot do, more money can do. That was his father. But look at what J.F. Kennedy turned out to be. Totally different. So, you see, it's good that Atiku Abubakar is speaking to the issues. It is good that his son is also a part of it. What it means is that we have hope for the future. That even among the elite, the rapacious elite, you will still we are still going to have people who will say, no, something is not right with the system. It doesn't matter the age. Right. It doesn't matter whatever. What matters is the value of their convictions and how courageous they are to bring out to pursue their convictions.
All right, very well said, Barrister Francis Ofeli. You've been a very big critic of Atiku Abubakar to some level. I don't know, are you excited with what you've just had, and do you buy the submissions of the two guests that have just spoken?
Well, I actually don't know why the media like to make heavy word out of influential people. But I don't know why, but I understand why. I understand why, because media likes sensationalism.
Yeah.
Okay, and they will bring so much emotions. Otherwise, if it will be in my training in the law, Atiku'S son protesting makes no difference. I mean, the son is a citizen of Nigeria. The son have a right to protest under the constitution. The right is exercisable as at whenever you choose to do so. And so the boy is exercising that right under the constitution. That is how I see it. That's all. But for the media, they have to make out, is it the father that sent him? Did he go by himself? Who asked him to go there? Did he consult his people? So we begin to put so much, we have to attach a lot. Now we are discussing it. We are not discussing the protest this morning. We are discussing Atiku'S son in the protest and whether Atiku is talking the talk or not talking. Well, I understand the media fine. And it's good you guys do what you do the way you do it. At least to infuriate some of us or to draw us into the discourse and then to push forward. But the truth is that Atiku is not the standard for evaluation of good governance. Whatever Atiku is telling you today, Atiku had opportunities he was in charge of the economy throughout, before he fell out with his boss at the tail end of the second term. He was in charge of the economy. This protest is about economic injustice.
Yeah, true.
Okay, so the 8 years he spent, so pretending over the economy. What did he do differently that this administration could not do? What was a special program apart from selling national assets? And not being able to account for them. What else did Atiku do? Apart from the fact that he was among those who encouraged Obasanjo to increase fuel price. Within the 8 years, they increased fuel price 4 times. Okay? And this same protest is still tied to that same fuel. So did they do better? When you talk about the subsidy, I think they were even part of the creation of the subsidy, that administration.
No.
They were part of, what I mean is this, the subsidy started way back. But what I mean is, they didn't do anything better.
Managing
it. Because we started hearing about the real corruption under Obasanjo and Atiku. That was even when people will go to, then they call it DPR. They go there with spreadsheets that they brought this to the country, that they brought that to the country. Once you have a company registered, and the company can prove that they are into oil and gas, even if they don't have office, but they take spreadsheet, they go there and say they brought this, they brought that, and they were paid. The corruption was even more that time than it is now. So whatever Atiku is saying that he represent whatever, ask people to go out to protest. Whether he says it or not, people will go out and protest because the economy is mismanaged.
Right.
And people are not okay at all. So if we have to zero in our discourse to that of his son, it's a personal struggle for his son. That's what I think. I don't think he's representing the father or any Nigerian. He's representing himself. And Atiku, as much as he's talking about the people should go out and protest, it makes no difference.
All right. Very well said. But let's move on to our next daily Saturday Independent. We have the big story here. Exposed. The federal government loses 15 billion naira annually to daily deals of illegal charter jet operators. And the writer here says the aircraft used for money laundering, drug trafficking, stakeholders and monitoring capacity conversion to commercial purposes beyond Nigeria. And that's coming from analysts. Yes.
Okay, moving on. Support swells for Tinubu's energy sector reforms. Details are on page 6.
And also revive moribund seaports in 6 months to appease peers in Niger Delta. Cleric is telling Bola Tinubu.
Yeah, moving on. The elegant stallion takes a majestic bow. Details are on page 20.
All right, Emeka, let's take a look at this. The federal government loses 15 billion annually to daily deals of illegal charter jet operators. Don't you think that yet again the Minister of Aviation is disturbing Nigerians, just like Bola Ahmed Tinubu did. He said that the elites of the elite are those who benefit from fuel subsidy. Instead of going after them, he made Nigerians to pay the brunt. Right now, jet operators are owned by people like them. Why is the aviation minister not going for these people, and if they know them?
You see, for me, I think we need, for me, I prefer to choose my words in such a way that will show better understanding of any sector. When people talk about going after, it presupposes that you have prejudged operators, all or most operators in any industry as criminals. And that is wrong. If your job is that of a regulator, you are not a magistrate. It's only a magistrate or a judge who can say, oh, I give you an order, go after. But the media likes to use that in order go after, so as to make government look like one monster that can smash things. But it should not be. It's the elite that can actually invest in such capital-intensive businesses. So what is required that the regulators should be up and doing. Make sure they, the necessary levies and all of that.
Now, who are the regulators here now?
Of course, you have the SCAA now. Okay. You have the FAN, you have the Ministry of Aviation. They should do their job. Let me tell you, for years, right from Obasanjo's time, there have been suggestions that there should be luxury tax. And people keep pointing to these private jets. Tax private jet owners. Tax them. Now, even one other thing also was tax the huge profits that banks make from forex deals. They looked away from it because people were benefiting from it. Now, Tinubu has started looking into that. Wait, we'll charge 50% from those forex deals, which to me is a laudable move. So instead of saying go after them in such a way that you want to pull people down, if it's known, what you need to do is set standards, enforce your regulations, so that when there's transparency in the business, when it is clear and the economy is benefiting, I believe that 15 billion is even a conservative figure. How much was budgeted for education loan? 5 billion initially. Later, they said they raised it to 35 billion. But do you know what? What it means is that private jets, like some people have been saying, that private jet business, if it's well regulated, can actually fund certain sectors. So all I just need to say is that, yes, there was a levy that was to be implemented, but the Minister of Aviation, Festus Keyamo, step back on it. So let the sector be cleaned up properly. There's so much to be made by operators and by the nation.
All right.
Okay, over to you, Barrister Philip. Now, I want to read out a particular headline here. Plan to disrupt internet amidst #EndBadGovernance protest. Counterproductive. Coalition wants federal government. Now, for the past couple, since we started the NSAS protest, even before the EndBadGovernance protest, even before it started, there was banning of some Nigerians' lines. And now, some persons still don't believe that this is, a lot of Nigerians believe that this is the plan of the government to more especially hinder Nigerians from sending out some videos, especially on the internet, so they don't get attraction of the international bodies. Now, at this point, do you think it's counterproductive or it is actually yielding results?
Well, it's counterproductive because from all indication, I did my investigation on this, and it is clear that the internet was, was distorted to slow down the influx of information. You understand? In Nigeria, we don't have restraint. When we put in the foreign media, you will not see them show you blood or somebody dead on the ground, all that. They conceal it because of a lot of regulations over there. Yeah, we don't conceal and we upload it like that. Yes. You understand? That's what is going on. That's what's happening here. We just upload it. So they did something to reduce the whole of yesterday, day before yesterday. The internet was practically dead. I mean, some people were saying, okay, it's my modem. I'll go and change my modem. We did that here to change from one to another, and it was the same. So it was counterproductive because the service providers also need to make money and sustain business. So there's you can't go far with that. and also is an infraction because it's an attempt to stifle freedom of expression electronically. That's exactly what it is. So that is not good at all. You know, the problem with this country is that when you are drawing the federal government attention to a wrong, what they are doing wrong, they should address. You know what they normally do? They will take their eyes off that thing and start to accuse you of telling them to correct something. That's exactly what the likes of Akpabio did, Wike and the rest of them. The issue the citizens are asking for is that issue. Can't you address it? Take one or two out of it, address them, and then tell the people that the others or the others on the list, you cannot address it now for the following reason. But they won't do that because what they know is that they have made up their mind that they must keep people repressed. And the only way they can shine, they believe, is when they are high up there and the citizens are low down there. That's what they think. That's what but it's not like that in many countries. In many countries, you are given opportunity. Everybody is given the opportunity to succeed. Okay, but that is even the reason you will not have, you go to bed and close your eyes, knowing that your neighbor is as comfortable as you are. And is that too much to ask for? But here, they build high-rise fences and seal up themselves against, because they know that their neighbor is not sleeping. So they too want to, and when you look at the way our leaders talk, the way they go about policy, the way they go about everything they do, you just discover that they don't have the interest of the poor. And not only do they not have the interest of the poor at heart, they also look at how they demolish properties, just throw people out on the street. You understand? Without any consequence and all that. So they did that to also further prove their powers, that they can dominate the people, they can fracture their means of communication. But is it working now? Because the truth is that all those videos were unable to upload yesterday and the day before. The moment the internet came up, you see the things online now. You understand? But they don't also think.
Very true.
Now people are pushing those stories everywhere. And this thing has gone bad. If you go read the protest stories, if you read the comments on those videos, just go and read, take your time out. You will see Kenyans hailing Nigerians.
Exactly.
There.
Very true.
They say what they are saying is that they are behind us, that this is what they are doing, and this is what we should do collectively in Africa at a time like this. That's what they are saying. So we have a lot of people are back. What Nigerians are doing is not wrong. In fact, the truth is that we have been too docile. This is not the time to. You see, when they took the tariff on electricity up, we should have started protesting. When you go to primary school and secondary school, you see people sitting on the floor to learn. You see children sitting under the tree to learn. That is when we're supposed to start the protest. Go to the international airport and shut it down. Let no big man fly to anywhere. The ones that make a demand that they bring their children to come and learn under the tree. We have to go that very deep about this thing. Before these people will know that it's no longer business as usual.
Thank you, Brother. In 60 seconds, how do you solution to this particular problem?
Yeah, the federal government, is their normal usual character, trying to do their image, which is the normal exercise. So it's not the first time, and I'm sure it's only the last time. But like our other colleague had said, one of the major targets that we need in terms of protests should be sectoral-based protests. When it comes to any lack or any mismanagement in education, let there be protests in that line, so that nobody leaves this country with their kids for any academic engagement outside the country. So once we have that, there will be a solution. So once we move away from that, we get the solution, let's move to agric. From agric, move to health sector. As of today, nobody's talking about health sector. But we're sitting on a serious, heavy gunpowder. Just waiting for a little second to blow up. The health sector is in -0. It's not even, the probability is less than 0. So nobody's talking in that arena already.
Who is the health minister?
So we don't even know. So if you ask an average student in the school now, they won't know the name of the health minister.
It's not doing anything. It's not doing anything now.
It's not because it's not doing anything. You see the challenge we're having. So let's even those who are leading protests should be begin to understand that let's begin to have what sector-based protests so that we can tackle it one after the other. Then the government will understand that we know where we're doing and there's no more hideout for the government.
All right, just like he did say, sector-based protests. That's what we need if we must return back to the type of a Nigeria that we all want for ourselves. Yeah. So I'd love to say thank you to our guests for being part of our show today. And of course, if possible, they might also be here to take us on our main conversation for today.
Yeah, very true. And when we return, Nigeria an edge. Military wants of intervention if protests escalate and leaders condemn ethnic profiling.
That in the beat. Please don't go anywhere.
Enterprise TV, a tradition of truth.